Welcome to the MR Podcast. My name is Hannah Lassiter, and I am the founder of Mentorship Revolution and the main speaker of the MR Podcast. I am also the new author of Poetry for Girls That Struggle. It is now available on Amazon for $15, so go get yours. I hope that you all are doing well in this current climate, this current season that we're in the world, all around the world. I hope that you all are faring well, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're remaining grounded, remaining still as need be, that your faith is stronger than ever, and that this situation isn't disturbing you as much as it would the world. Because if you're familiar with the content that I post on the MR Podcast or the content that I record and the radio that I'm used to putting out, that I've always tried to instill spiritual values, and I'm a spiritual being myself as well as I am a human being. So I try to encourage others to get in touch with their spirit so that they can know that just as much as your flesh and just as much as your physical and just as much as your mental being, you're also a spiritual being. So I hope that you all are leaning onto that, leaning onto your faith, leaning onto your community, which is why Mentorship Revolution is a community. And during times like this, you really need to have not only a community that is global, but you need to have a community that is willing to meet your needs, or community that's willing to stand beside you when you may be at your lowest, and a community that's serious about unity. Because in any season of war, in any season of danger, in any season of hostility, there needs to be unity somewhere. So I hope that you're finding unity. I hope that you are safe. I hope that you are sound even when the waves are crashing against your door. And I just hope that you're making careful decisions during these times, because we all have to make careful decisions and make sure that we're putting our cards in the right place. Make sure that we're remaining in a place of peace, even though we have to deal with the reality that we're all in. So I have this book by the name of Prayers for Healing, 365 Blessings, Poems, and Meditations from Around the World. It is edited by Maggie Oman, and the introduction is by the Dalai Lama, and the foreword is by Larry Dose. So the way that this works, as I said, is 365 blessings, poems, and meditations from around the world. So for each day, there's a particular meditation, prayer, affirmation, or something that you would say in the morning, or say before you go to work or before you go to school, something to start your day in a way that you're seeing the bigger picture. Or maybe before you start getting into the rush hour, you kind of say a prayer, you say something that's going to bring peace to any current situation, or even, whatever state of mind you're in. These are always going to work for you. So today's April 2nd, 2020, and I want to read with you what the prayer, blessing, poem, and meditation is for April 2nd in this book. Again, it's called Prayers for Healing, in case you may be interested in ordering it yourself. I actually brought Prayers for Healing from Barnes & Noble's 2 years ago, so it may definitely still be there. And the author is Oman, which is spelled O-M-A-N. So this is what it says for April 2nd. Come with me. Lord of the springtime, Father of flower, field, and fruit, smile on us in these earnest days, when the work is heavy and the toll wearisome. Lift up our hearts, O God, to the things worthwhile, sunshine and night, the dripping rain, the song of the birds, books and music, and the voice of our friends. Lift up our hearts to these this night and grant us thy peace. Amen. And this wonderful prayer, meditation, and blessing was actually originally said by W.E.B. Du Bois. So, I hope that this was an encouraging word for you today. It's actually telling us to look at what God has done. Look at what he has created. And if any of you, which I know a lot of you probably are familiar with the Bible, in Genesis, when God originally created the world, creation was perfect. And with God being perfect himself and with God being all-knowing himself, he wouldn't have completed the world without it being perfect in his sight. So, originally, everything was right. There was no flaw, and God saw it as perfect. And we've come where we are today, but in the end, we still see that creation is still a splendid design of what God wanted it to be. Even with us here and the things that we have done to it, or maybe what we have done to survive and live in it, still to a certain extent, nature is perfect because that's what God intended. So I hope that at least will remind you that everything is due by design. And hopefully you'll lift up your hearts to God, the Lord. And actually, this is wonderful because, we're in the springtime, and this meditation actually said Lord of the springtime. So God is Lord all the time. Again, this is the MR podcast, and I hope that you enjoyed this little segment. And I hope that you are finding your cool of the day. And by the way, please follow. We are on all mainstream platforms, and we're always bringing content that you can enjoy. And we have a lot that we have in store for 2020. Make sure you also visit mentorshiprevolution.com and that you will subscribe so that you can receive daily and weekly content to your email. Thank you as always, and have a nice day.